Chiz made a good point. Chiz is like, you haven't even told the stories about when you were in jail, and those are some of my favorite stories ever. It's like,
do you have any that you would feel comfortable saying right now?
I think,
I don't want to put you on the spot. I was just
yeah,
curious.
I don't know. I kind of want to save them. I don't know, and like do a whole like I got hours of silly.
Do you got just like a tease for us, like a?
Oh man, eggs were a commodity. Eggs, hard-boiled eggs.
All right, I'm gonna take that story back. And
hard-boiled eggs were a commodity. Okay, like food would come, and it was. I was only in for like 3 or 4 days or something like that. But it's rough, and everybody was like, "I've been in prison. This is rougher than prison. This is awful." He's like, in prison, we get to go outside for like 2 hours a day. We get this, we get that, we get that. He's like, you see that cooler of water over there? We had to strike for that. There was a hunger strike to get that water. All right, well, I'm glad y'all did that for me. He's
like, shout out to you guys one time.
Solidarity, brothers. And then like it's like mixed. It's white guys, black guys. We're all wearing our orange jumpsuits, which are a little itchy, by the way. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm sure they don't have fabric softener thrown in.
I doubt it. A lot of starch. Yeah.
The beds suck, and they're like, I've been in prison. The beds are so much better. Beds are so much better. I'm like, yeah, this bed does kind of. It's like this thin, like roll up, like pad you throw onto like a metal bed, and the pillow is so thin that you've got to like fold it twice to get a pillow, like enough pillow to put your head on. And
is it cold?
Oh, it's cold. Oh, it's cold in there. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. But then it'll get hot, and there's no way to get cool again. So I've got my orange jumpsuit buttoned down to like my belly button with like my chest hair hanging out, and I'm sitting over there like. And
now you're worried about being too attractive for yourself.
No, that's not an issue. That's not even
tying it up like a Britney Spears look.
Yeah. Food is so awful. Someone said that they had like a 37-cent a day like budget for each prisoner's food, and I was like, I believe it.
What was the food like? Get served.
I like prison. It was gruel, gruel all day. It was breakfast would slop. Breakfast was oatmeal with nothing in it, just kind of spattered onto a tray. A hard-boiled egg. There was hard-boiled eggs at every meal. Hard-boiled egg. There was like 2 sausage links that were like your pinky finger, and they were all like dried up and gross. And
I'd rather
they were the best
overcooked
part.
thing. Yeah.
They were the best part of breakfast. That's what I ate. Some days there were grits. Some days there were oatmeal. I preferred the grits because you can salt and pepper
grits.
those.
Yeah.
You can salt and pepper those, but there was no sugar or butter or anything like that for the oatmeal.
Yeah.
Every meal had the same beverage. It was Kool-Aid. Okay? You had Kool-Aid in a very small cup, and it was like, this is my cup of Kool-Aid for the next 6 hours. Once it's gone, it's gone.
They don't have free refills in jail?
No. So it's like, there's a little. I think it's berry. Is that berry? I hear grape. I hear tomatoes grape. Sipping on our. I had an appointment to be arrested. I showed up punctually.
You were on time for your arrest.
They don't even put handcuffs on you.
Can you tell me more about your appointment? I thought they surprised you in the.
Well, that's the first arrest. I'm talking about the U.S. Marshals. Like when the U.S. Marshals are like, all right, show up at 10 next month, and we'll arrest you, and
Where'd
then
you
we'll
show
release you. At some federal building in Atlanta. And that's when they like DNA'd me, like took a cheek swab and took my passport away. Like I turned it over to them. And I think that's about it as far as like fingerprints again. Of course I was on time.
You were late for a court date.
That wasn't my fault. Everyone explained that the prosecutor told the judge, he's like, just so we're all clear, this isn't Mr. Myers' fault. He wasn't fucking informed. Like, I was not late to shit, Woody.
Okay. All right.
I'm fully confident Kyle would have been on fucking time with his Sunday best on for every one of these things.
It's funnier to say, well, I was high.
I'm a drug addict.
No, what you're referring to was,
I hit someone on the way in my car.
Like what you're referring to in a normal person's life would have been the scariest thing that ever happened to them. But in mine, it was a Saturday that was rough. It wasn't a Tuesday or whatever. I wake up at like, I don't know, 9 a.m. in bed with my girlfriend, and I'm like, nice little lazy Tuesday. I get a call from the fucking courthouse in Athens, because that's where I think there's a federal thing there. That's initially where like the stuff was happening, and then they moved to Atlanta. Anyway, they're like, supposed to be in courtroom D, where are you? And I'm like, in my fucking bed, an hour and a half away, yo. But I didn't say it quite like that. And so I'm like calling my lawyer and his people and like everyone in my legal little sphere and everything. And what it turned out was I hadn't been informed, my lawyer hadn't been informed, and the prosecutor hadn't even been informed. Nobody knew that we all needed to be there that day. So it just so happens that they work in the legal field, so they're there, you know. But so everyone is very understanding when I show up an hour late to this thing, and like, and even the prosecutor told the judge, just so we're all clear, like, this man didn't show up late, okay? Like, I wasn't informed, his defense attorney wasn't informed, and of course he wasn't. So the only it was explained.
Then by the rules of Georgia, you are free to go.
I wish, but
that's how it works in college. Like if the professor's 15 minutes late, we could go.
But it's double jeopardy. We can't get appointments wrong twice.
But the whole process of me getting ready that morning and then driving there was pure terror.
I'm sure
because like, you know, I've been trying to like mind my P's and Q's this whole time, and now I'm an hour and a half late to like sentencing or something, like a major fucking thing. And so I'm just fucking no shower. I'm getting dressed as fast as I can, like brushing my hair and fucking, where's my belt? My good belt? No, it's not that one. That one doesn't fit anymore.
I need a sturdy belt in case this goes poorly.
Yeah, not my rhinestone belt that says "girl toy."
I think I ended up going with no belt, and I hit it with my hands in front of me like this. I literally like couldn't find a belt. Like.
Clearly, this awful postured man.
Yeah, I think my suit and pants were slightly mismatched. Like it was a dark navy and a black or something like that, which is fine. But like I was driving as fast as you would think you wouldn't get pulled over the whole way, aggressively, terrified, leaned forward on the wheel with her next to me, going, "It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right." And there's me constantly calling people, constantly, so scared.
That was at like 130 BPM sitting down. You're so nervous. That sounds like a nightmare, man.
It's like, this isn't my fault. Nobody told me.
That's how Kyle did so well in the fucking fitness competition. Just 130 BPM resting pulse for some reason.
Did they not like explain? Did they not explain the extent to which you weren't in trouble up front? Like your attorney wasn't like, "Hey, huge mess up in the scheduling office. It's okay. Like you just get down here quick."
I don't think I knew for sure that I was good because I couldn't get in touch with him either.
He hadn't been your lawyer.
He didn't know. He's in court with somebody else, or he's like, or he's driving and he can't answer the phone when he drives. It's a crime in Georgia. Your lawyer gets a fucking thing on. It's a problem, right? Like you can't have your criminal lawyer. So he's obeying the law. He won't answer his phone when he's in the fucking car. So I think some of that was part of the deal. In any case, yeah, in that fancy car I bought him. But yeah, I wasn't late for anything. I promise you.
Was there any wiggle room? Like when they told you show up at 10 for sentencing or to be arrested?
Oh,
Like if you or your lawyer had said like, we are going to be there. Can we do 11:30? Mr. Myers has a dentist appointment.
Oh, totally.
Really? You can like kind of like stop and get a meal, like go to the arcade.
Well, see, like this, what I'm describing as arresting is like me turning myself over to the U.S. Marshals, and they take me into their custody, and they technically process me a little bit, but then they just turn around and release me.
You know what would have been fucking sick is if you turned yourself in wearing like spurs.
Oh,
like spurs and a vest. Chink, chink, chink.
So they have to take them away and put them in the box. When I went to prison, that would have been when I went to prison. When I checked in, I should have had like lots of accessories.
A bandolier of weapons.
so that when I'm released, they're like, rhinestone belt buckle, 2 water pistols filled with SpaghettiOs. Yeah. Those dried up, sir. Like I'm just going through my random shit, and I'm like, I'm nodding intently and taking each thing and putting it on. Yeah, I was never late for anything. I don't think, not that I can remember. I think there was a couple times when they fucked up their information and I didn't show up for a thing, but I never messed up. But yeah, the U.S. Marshals still have my passport. I guess I guess it's expired, so no need to get it back. But I kind of want it back, but I don't want to talk to them.
It makes it easier to get another passport if you just have your old one.
Yeah, why?
I know it does, right?
I think that's true, but I'm not sure why.
It is.
Because it's like on the list of like, because I had to get a passport like a couple of years ago, and the list is like, you can bring this, or your license and old passport. And it's like, damn, like if you don't have your passport, it's going to be a pain in the butt. Do you have everything else like birth certificate, like all that shit? Every time I need that shit, I have to find it, and then I lose it.
I have my original birth certificate. I'm looking at it, and it got sent to me. I had it sent to me the other day, and when I went to tear open the envelope, I tore it.
That sucks. I could see making that mistake.
Would you just straight through the middle? I'm not paying this bill from the public records department.
Fuck you, Mom.
Yeah, that's what I pictured.
Like birth certificate. No, it had like I tore it right at the top, like forgetting what might be in that envelope. And I thought it was like an Amazon. It was a Manila thing. So anyway, I tore the edge completely off my birth certificate, and I'm not sure if it's even technically valid anymore.
As long as it's got all the good stuff on there, I think
it's got all the good stuff, but it's a tear right through the one of the edges is for an inch and a half is torn off all the way down. But it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'd like to get my passport back from those marshals, but
give them a call.
Yeah.
Hey, you remember me?
No, we didn't.
I'm that cool guy.
Now,
remember the rad guy in Georgia? Like that's me. I need my
tubular fellow. You were
I was about to drop a tubular. We were racing to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So there were a bunch of charges at first, and most of them were nonsense. There was a charge that said I had a gun with a destroyed serial number. That was a gun that had been coated, painted with like a pretty design on it, and two of the serial numbers were kind of hard to read. You literally scratch them and you could read them. But like destroying the serial number on a firearm is like a 10-year federal like mandatory sentence. So like they lump stuff like that in.
These were guns you bought brand new from a gun store normally and then had professionally painted.
Yeah.
So this wasn't like a wacky thing.
This isn't one of those deals where I like paint a gun like green and red in my backyard. This was a professional job, and they did a bad job at it. And so they lump stuff like that in with possession of marijuana, and just made it so that I really had to do a plea deal and just plead guilty to possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. And the intent to distribute thing, even the judge today was like, so was he selling marijuana? And they're like, no, absolutely not. This is, the prosecution's like, no, he wasn't. No. Was he shipping it? Nope. Was he trading it for favors or influence? Nope, not at all. Never did that.
Was he going to parades and releasing it over the crowd? Like what?
Nope.
It's
but
the Joker shit.
But
exactly.
But we're quite sure that women would come to his house, his girlfriend even, and smoke a joint with him occasionally. And so that was distribution. So
the judge was like, so he was like a good host?
That is not what the judge said. No.
So you're saying he was a polite person? I would go so far as to say considerate.
We're going to charge you with 3 counts of being considerate.
Yeah,
which is a felony in Georgia.
Yeah, so like I was glad that like that was part of the hearing today, where he was like he made sure that she explained that, and she was like, yeah, no, he didn't sell it. He's not a drug dealer, but he did share it with women from time to time. And just so everyone out there knows, if you're ever in a situation where there's some marijuana, if you share a joint with someone, you just distributed marijuana. So
that's crazy.
What a great excuse for not giving someone your pot.
You said it, not me.
No, dude, sorry.
So
I don't need extra charges.
Can you explain how sentencing works? Because I was very surprised to learn that your gun collection, they tried to combine it with marijuana and make it a really worse thing.
Before you do that, I like the idea that like she's basically saying like you tried to ply women with marijuana.
No, that was not what she said. She was just she's literally it was just that like people would come to my house and they would smoke marijuana.
But you would but the idea is that she was trying to get at the fact that like you having marijuana is part of why girls came over.
My lawyer essentially said that. He was like, first of all, these friends were ladies. I was just like, I'm looking over at him.
The judge just gives you a high five.
Yeah, he's I really and just a little sidebar here, a little core humor there for you.
Nice.
If anyone finds himself in a similar situation that I was in, and they're in the Atlanta area, hit me up, and I guess I could refer you to an attorney. I really thought that my guy did a good job for me over the last year and a half that this thing's been going on for.
Seems like so long ago. This started.
Yeah.
Sometimes it comes up, and I'm like, they're still mad about that.
Yeah, they're still mad about it. Yeah, it's
that's part of the legal system. If you wait long enough, they just go, eh.
Yeah, bygones.
In some situations, they do with statutes of limitation, but this isn't one of those situations at all. That doesn't apply here in any way.
What's the statute of limitations to fake pot charges?
So Kyle, the guns combining with pot use became a weird thing.
So there's like federal sentencing guidelines. We've all probably heard that terminology before, and it's like this sliding scale of like a point system. And it's like, oh, you did a good thing, 2 points off. Oh, you did a bad thing, 1 point on. And the things that took points off for me were, I have no criminal history whatsoever. What was another one?
So wait, it's like a fucking driver's test?
Kinda. And the more points you get, the more time you can do.
Are there like multipliers?
Yes. Huh. On the left, there are numbers that go from like 1 to, I don't know, 50 or something like that. And just to the right of those are how many months that's recommended that you do in prison. And so I started out at 31.
Which is 31 points?
Yeah.
I don't think people recognize how outrageous that is. That is a really, really big legal problem.
It's like 35 years in federal prison.
Yeah.
Christ. Well, that's also. But did you guys listen to season 3 of Serial?
You're really going to interrupt his story for okay?
No, because they take you through the court system and how pleading, how basically they lump all these false charges on. And not only that, but they charge you twice for the same thing. Like they'll be like possession of a firearm and also possession of a weapon. And it's like that's the same thing.
And possession of a firearm by a drug user. It's like, wait a minute, am I getting charged 3 times for one gun?
And they do and the reason they do that is so that by the end they're like, you're facing 31 years in prison, and you're like, all right, I guess I'll plead to 2. And really they just wanted you to have 2 in the first place.
That's absolutely the situation. And what it was in my case is that it didn't make any sense to go to trial and potentially face all that craziness, the level 31 stuff. It made so much more sense to just plead guilty, even though I really disagreed with the distribution charge. That seemed wrong to me. I'm not a legal scholar or anything. And then there were a lot of inconsistencies in the whole case, the way the search warrant was obtained and some stuff like that I won't go into, but it wasn't. I could have won if I'd taken it to trial, but the risk was absurd.
You lost.
And
you
that
also
was the
could have
situation.
lost.
And
yeah,
so you were FPS Russia, which meant that you owned a lot of specialty, interesting guns, silencers, and short barrel, all licensed, all completely above board.
Yeah,
but in this context, they became like extra big problems. Can you explain?
Well, at first, that was adding on like 8 points, which is a lot.
For owning legal guns?
Yeah. And that got brought down to adding on 2 points. So again, like points got deducted for things like I'd never had a criminal history, and it's like first time offense, and the possession of marijuana under a kilogram or whatever, I under a pound, one or the other was, X amount of points, and it all came down to 6 points, from 31 down to 6 points. And the recommended sentence for that, which is what I've been saying kind of all along for like 2 years, is 0 to 6 months of prison. And the last 6 months of any federal sentence, you don't actually spend in prison. You spend it in a halfway house. So yeah, it's kind of like a dormitory that you sleep in at night with some other cool guys, I guess. And you know, you have your,
with
you
all the
have
people
your,
you've been making fun of for years.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll make good friends there. And
Yeah.
you get your days to
Heard what you were
yourself.
saying on the podcast.
But you get your days to yourself, and you're not like locked up. They're just keeping tabs on you for a little while. And there was a maximum of, I think, maybe $9,500 they could have fined me, and it was up to 5 years of probation, which is pretty annoying. You know, that much probation. That's a long ass time.
What does that
probation.
mean?
Does
Like, you
probation
couldn't
include
leave?
drug testing?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. And so we went in today, and I got there at 9 a.m. to Athens, which is like
Rack
a
of
2-hour
dawn in
drive.
Kyle's
for me.
world. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got up at 5 a.m. I got
That
up
is
at
early,
5
yeah.
a.m.
I
And,
probably
you
wouldn't
know,
have slept at all. I would have been so nervous.
I slept pretty well, honestly. I went to bed at like 9 p.m.
It was
I
all the
would be-
pot that helped him sleep.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Fuck off!
Not a funny one, Steve. Not a funny one.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Anything of the sort. It was my wholesome nature and
melatonin.
my love of Jesus Christ that helped me sleep well.
Hey, cool kids, gather around. Let me tell you about Jesus Christ right now.
I've been taking random drug tests for 2 years now. I'm clean. and so I got up at 5 a.m., got there at 9 a.m., and my lawyer's not there. And I'm like, and see, there's no way to really coordinate with the lawyer, because as a lawyer, he won't answer the phone when he drives. I understand that. You know, he understands it's a crime to do so in this state. And he's got a long drive just like I do. And I'm not going to call him at 6 a.m. And so I can't call him on the phone. I can't take my phone into the courthouse, you know, because I'm a defendant. One of the interesting things
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things throughout my whole legal process is I've got a very nice suit that I had made, and every time I go into any courthouse, lawyers on the left, I'm like, no, I'm not a lawyer. Really? What are you doing here? Wait a minute. Are you that? You look familiar.
Is that your
That
hitman
internet
suit?
guy? Yeah.
That's literally what happened at the federal courthouse. Both times, the metal detector guy recognized me, and then we ended up watching videos, my videos with the metal detector guy, having a good little chat. So I get there.
Please tell me he was like taking selfies of you, and he's like, but not with your phone. You're not allowed to have that.
Yeah. I get there, and I go up into the courtroom, and I'm there before they even unlock the doors. You know, I'm ready to go here. I don't want to be late. There was an incident a few months back where they didn't notify me that today's my court day. And so I just get a phone call at like 10 a.m. and they're like, hey, you're supposed to be in court. And I'm just like, what? What do you mean? No one told me. And I had to like rush and drive 2 hours, but they were told that I wasn't notified. So it was all good. So the court opens up and I go in there, and I'm going to be the last guy on the docket for the day. So that gives plenty of time for my lawyer to get there. And he does eventually, although I'm very nervous because court has begun by the time he gets there. And today was mostly sentencing. And so there's this big chorus, I'll call them, of people in orange jumpsuits and shackles over there, kind of like a, you know, sitting in like a choir formation.
Mm-hmm.
I want them singing now like it's Sister Act.
Like, about how many people are in front of you? Like 10, 20, 30?
I would say eight or nine people. And so I get to watch each of their cases go. And the thing about it is, like, they go up and the prosecutor is like, they tell you what these people did. You know, they're like, you know, if the person pleads guilty, like the whole spiel is, they go, if we had proceeded to trial, we would have proved beyond a reasonable doubt that so-and-so did this on this day, and then this happened, and then this happened, and they really lay out what these people have done. Yeah.
Wait a second. Like, the idea of having to go last, like having to, I feel like that's more nerve-wracking than getting it out of the way right away. Because, like, you have to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
prefer to
worse.
go on
They were
first.
icing the kicker all day. Now,
Yeah.
you got 2 months? Is that right?
Yeah, I got 2 months.
But we don't know 2 months of what.
It's almost, it depends. it's 2 months of the halfway house, and the only thing that would change that is if they don't have enough beds at the halfway house. It's this weird scenario where like my lawyer's like, I mean, we could probably just talk to the parole officer and maybe we'll just wait until there is a bed, until you have to go and start serving that 2 months. But we don't really know. Like worst case scenario, I have to go to something that they described as summer camp, which that's I don't know.
Sounds fun.
Not really.
But it's Bible summer camp, Taylor.
Oh yeah, it sucks.
I was laughing to myself earlier today, thinking about the possibility of you getting house arrest for 2 months or something, and just like them being like, now you can't leave your house. You have this anklet on for 2 months, and then like 3.5 months in, they're calling you like, we do need that bracelet back. Like you can leave now, right? And you're like, yeah, I'll get around to it.
He's just doing Postmates and Rust all day.
There's a whole new season of One Punch Man out. I think maybe next week.
So
does the halfway house have a sex swing though, or you have to?
I don't think so. I think that's in that scenario. So yeah, I got 2 years of probation, which is the minimum amount of probation that I could have gotten. He could have given me 5 years of probation. I was pretty thankful for that. The probation was the part I was most concerned about, honestly, like how many years I would have to continue to do these like drug tests and be under like the, sort of have a babysitter to some extent.
My probation officer,
Kyle, you've been under probation. Am I right?
Yeah.
It's
called pretrial. It's called pretrial probation. I've been on that for.
And what impact does it have on one's life to be under probation? There's drug tests.
Can't leave the state without permission. My parole officer calls me maybe once every 2 months or something like that, and is like, "Hey, I'm gonna stop by, see how you're doing." But yeah, just us tonight. This will be my last show for a little while.
I know you're like they're all Kyle episodes. I'm all contraire.
Tune in next week for a look at how that's not the case. Yeah, so this is, I'm sure it's even more surreal for you. But even though I knew how serious this whole situation was, even going back a couple years, when it was talks like, oh, it could be years in jail. Like in the back of my head, I was like, Kyle's not going to jail. That's not going to happen. It's going to be fine. This is going to pan out. And now you're going to jail.
Yeah. It panned out. I'm pretty happy with it.
Cue the Always Sunny intro.
Who's checking the mail?
Kyle goes to jail.
Yeah, it's the Curb Your Enthusiasm music. Yeah. No, I think I'm pretty happy with the way things panned out. All things considered, I think it's a pretty good spin. We were hoping that they'd have room at a halfway house because I got sentenced to 2 months, and I don't think it's been hinted at that but it won't be 2 months. So we'll see. So maybe, I don't know if that means 2 calendar months, 60 days, 56 days, well, 28's the shortest of the months, and maybe it's a leap year and we'll make it 50. I don't know exactly how they factor that in. And then another thing is you often don't do your full sentence no matter what the amount of time is, it would seem. So I'll find out very soon. I go in tomorrow. But yeah, all things considered, I'm very happy with the way things have panned out and everything. I'll have all this nonsense behind me here in October. So
after thinking it could be decades in jail, them
Taylor,
coming to you and being like 2 months.
You were quieter than you were pre-show, and I didn't speak up.
It's just the distance. Yeah, do this, Taylor, a lot, real fast.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it going. Don't stop now.
I'm almost done.
Yeah, but yeah, I check in tomorrow, and I don't want to be too specific about where I'm going, but it's below minimum security. Like there aren't fences where I'm going. Like you could just walk out.
It's like less secure than a nursing home.
It's literally less secure than a nursing home. I'm not positive there are locks on the doors. There's definitely not cells. Like there's no like shachunk like sliding like cell door or anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of activities to do. Like there's literally like I think it's called pickleball, that tennis game. There's like a tennis court.
That's a fun game. You're gonna have a good time.
How is pickleball different than tennis? Does it use tennis rackets?
It uses this little tennis racket. It's like between ping pong and tennis. Like it looks like a ping pong racket in that it's solid, but it's much bigger than a ping pong racket or paddle, I should say. But it's smaller than it's a silly game. I don't play it. Kitty plays it though, and she's like, I'm so excited. You're going away, going to learn a bit of pickleball. When you come back, we'll play a few rounds. And I was like, yeah, that's the silver lining, Kitty, that I'm going to learn pickleball.
I bet they're not called rounds either. I don't know for sure, but I just imagine there's sets or games. Play a few sets
of pickleball. So yeah. I don't know exactly how long I'll be going. It shouldn't be more than 60 days. But it could be less. Like maybe it's just a month, like maybe it's something like that. I'll find out like pretty quickly. And what I've done, I don't know about you guys, but there aren't very many phone numbers I have memorized. And
literally only my own. I feel like a retard.
I know my own. I know my mother's because it hasn't changed since I was in high school. And that's like it. So I'm going to memorize like one phone number, and I'm going to give that person my list of phone numbers. So when I get inside, I can call them. Like, all right, I need Woody's number, I need Chiz's number, I need my dad's number, my mom's number, and once I'm in, I've got access to all kinds of nonsense like notepads and pens and paper, and so I'll have. I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to have quite a bit of phone time, and in an ideal scenario, I'll be able to like I'm just guessing. I don't know anything about how this is going to work, but let's just say I get 20 minutes of phone time a day. I'm guessing it might be 2 hours a day, or it might be all day, or whenever you want. There might just be a phone hanging there. But ideally, I would like call Chiz and be like, all right, let's set up a call. And like maybe like one afternoon, like when you guys are doing PKN or something, like we just record a segment where I call you guys and we record like however much time I've got. And I tell you what's going on in prison today. Like,
that's going to be hilarious.
I'm here with Dirty Mike and the boys. Say, hey guys. Hey, Woody. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? And funny. And Woody, they're letting me know that they're going to need a lot of boggle timers mailed in. They're all out of boggle timers here. That's a reference from King of the Hill where Peggy.
Woody, you've got to get boggle timers in. It's critically important.
They want their own special sand for the boggle timers. You're going to pick up a package names from a guy named Slippery Steve. He'll be coming by twice a week.
Peggy, you don't find it odd he loses the timer every week?
What I've seen
take it from him.
What I've seen in TV is people don't know their checkout dates, right? In my head, it should be like vacation. You know exactly what your starting and ending dates are. It's firm. Taylor's situation aside. But in prison, they don't seem to know your checkout date. This is weird to me.
I don't know anything about that. I don't know how that works or how that will work. Like I said, I think I'm gonna learn a lot of stuff tomorrow. Figure out what's going on. I'll get checked in everything, and I think I'm allowed to bring like $200 with me, so that'll like be an instant injection into my commissary, so I could buy like basic necessities like fucking sneakers and shorts and like soap and shampoo and like
protection.
all that. Yeah, a shiv,
sharp toothbrush. Yeah,
Colgate now with extra stabbiness, so I can get all that stuff down, and yeah, I'll get going, and I guess I'll be able to call you guys pretty quickly. I'll let somebody know like what the situation is, and like the phone situation. I think is what's going to be cool because I love the idea of like you guys doing PK and be like, all right, now we have a segment from Kyle. And being able to, I don't know how my audio will be in prison.
Honestly, the worse it is, the funnier it's going to turn out. If you sound like you're just in an empty concrete room.
Yeah, and there's a riot in the background. But yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting for like content for the show. Like this whole experience should be, because I didn't even go to camp as a kid, so this is going to be interesting.
I never slept at my friend's house.
What if you get into pickleball so much you're like Ricky in Trailer Park Boys when he's like they like force him to leave. He's like, you can't force me to leave. Today's the hockey tournament. Keep your head up. Yeah.
I've gotten so good at pickleball. They're trying to kick me out of jail, so I don't get to.
Yeah. After 20 days, you're dominating the pickleball league amongst all these 57-year-olds, and they just like, get him out of here.
What's the main thing you're concerned about? I'm going to guess the shitting situation.
No, I don't care.
Are they nice bathrooms? Hopefully.
Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea what it'll be like, but like I just won't care no matter what. when something is established as the norm, then I just accept it as the norm and I'm good with it. So like if everybody was shitting in a hole in the corner, I would just go ahead and go shit in the corner, whatever it's going to be.
So you'll be serving time in India, I see.
Oh, yeah. welcome to the pickleball court.
I haven't eaten anything but curry in 2 months.
Yeah, so honestly, I'm not worried about anything other than the bed being uncomfortable because the beds in jail suck. Like it's not a bed. It's like a metal frame, and they have like you remember those nap time pads you had in kindergarten?
Yeah.
That like, all right, everybody go get your pad, and you like throw that thin fucking wafer of a pad on the floor, and for a 5-year-old 80-pound child, that's fine. But like when you try to lie on your side on one of those, like my like hips dug into it, and like my shoulder and my elbow, and like you had to lay flat on your back and distribute your weight to get any sort of comfort in one of those. So I'm really hoping the beds are something better than that. That's really the only concern, because I've looked at like the commissary thing. It's like 5 pages of shit that I have access to, from food and like toiletry items, all the shampoos and soaps and detergents and deodorant and hair gel and brushes and combs and like all that stuff.
Do you get a TV, or is it like you sit in a big public room and watch Judge Judy with everybody else?
I don't know anything about that. I know that frequently there are jobs that you would have at this place. You would go and you would work like some sort of a menial labor type thing, like around the camp or at a local army base or something like that. I think they do that sometimes. But I'm there for such a short period of time. It might be one of those issues where it's like, well, it takes 2 weeks to initiate you into the course and 2 weeks to remove you from the course, and you're here for 6 weeks, so you're just gonna hang out in the barracks. So I'd be fine with that. Like if I don't get bored easily, so like I could literally sleep all day and like read books and do push-ups and maybe like jog a mile a day, and I'll be happy. I'll be fine.
Legal system is the epitome of that, right? Like if you get a defense attorney hired by the city who got 500 cases on his folder, and you're just one of the little things, versus getting a retainer for $1,500 an hour defense attorney, there's going to be a big difference in how your case turns out, right?
You still go to prison, but
can you imagine, right? Kyle, if you'd gotten a public defense, you'd still be in there.
Oh, I'd still be in prison. Yeah.
Yeah, so
you'd be on death row. Somehow,
yeah. It's crazy because it's funny because I have such a my fan base is so very pro America type of thing, and freedom, and I'm like, and they say, oh, Canada, you're not free, and they go, but how do you go to jail over weed? Like, that makes no sense. And then people want to claim freedom and stuff. It's like that could not happen in Canada. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they don't see they see what you're allowed to have versus what you have, and it's like they don't see the little things like that. Like there's no reason anyone should get jail time for 4 grams?
Half an ounce. So 14
even
grams.
That, who cares?
14 grams.
Even that, like
which by the way, like was like not even like a month's worth for me. Like it was concentrate, which at the federal level, concentrate, flour, edibles, it's all like the same. Like there's no like
I don't drink, I don't smoke. I've never smoked weed, but I'm Jamaican, so I've been in parties, so I've probably got.
And you play paintball.
But I'm saying though, I don't smoke at all, any weed or anything. I don't do, but it should be legal. Like there's no reason for it not to be. So why is there so many states down south still are like slacking on this?
I'm shocked that you don't smoke weed. As like look at all the groups that you're a part of that love weed. You're a Jamaican, African Canadian who plays paintball and is into like
music industry.
Music. Oh God, you're like if there's a Venn diagram somewhere, you are like that tiny little speck in the bottom corner that like is outside.
It's only you.
Yeah, because like every paintball event I've ever gone to, like Woody was with me like when I did it. I've told the story before, but quickly, like we wanted some weed in Chicago. I needed some weed in Chicago, and I was walking with Woody on the paintball field, like off the field, but kind of like out where the picnic tables and shit are at CPX or was. and I saw one of the refs, and he's that guy, like you might know him, like I think I can't remember the group, but like he's a sponsored guy, like real long hair, big mustache, kind of talks like this, brah, and he's like 5'9" or something, and I'm like, oh, I think we got something here, Woody. And I like go up to this guy, I'm like, hey man, I don't want to insult you or anything, but you look like a man who knows where the weed's at. And he goes, hell yeah, brah, what do you want? like we had a significant amount of marijuana like within a few hours.
It's crazy.
But yeah, no, I agree with you about the, land of the free, home of the brave, hypocrisy. It's some things, some things not so much, right? And
like even the strip clubs, you got to wear clothes and that makes no sense.
And I've always said what if I don't know if it would have been better or worse if I was black.
It would have been worse.
I think I think it would have been worse.
Would have been worse.
I think it would have been worse though.
Would have been worse.
Would have been better if you weren't on YouTube.
Yeah.
It would have been. It wouldn't have happened if I weren't like me.
Yeah.
It happened because I'm me. And I talked about that a little bit on Twitch the other day, but it happened because it was me. And it's whatever, again. We I put a Nightbot thing in my I just got your message.
I missed a word. You put a what in?
Nightbot? The little thing where you can type a command in. And it's exclamation freedom. And it tells you how much time I've got left on my probation. So if anybody's ever out there, like, I wonder how much time you're smoking your blunt. You're like, I wonder how much time Kyle's got before he could hit one of these. Hop into my Twitch and type exclamation freedom at any time of the day. And it'll let you know 43 days, 4 hours, 1 minute, and 26 seconds. That's how long. That bitch is always ticking down. I'm so excited.
And to go like a blink of an eye. You're in the final stretch.
Oh, we're in the final stretch now. Yeah. It's been 2 fucking years. And but since I've smoked, it's been, let's see, like between the time I had, no, because I smoked between state and federal charges because I had state charges against me. We beat those charges and they were dropped, but they were like, the feds are coming for you. That's why the state dropped the charges. They had a losing case. The feds have a winning case because you owned firearms. And it's like, oh shit. How much time do I have before the hammer comes down? The deal, you look confused. The deal is like,
I'm confused of how stupid that is because you had firearms when that's the Second Amendment, bro.
It was because the search warrant was invalid that the state had written, but a search warrant wasn't required because I'd been placed under arrest and I owned certain firearms that were registered at that domicile. So they could come in anyway, regardless of search warrants. So that made the feds, that made the evidence they found, like a bong and apparently a gram of weed. And I wish I'd known that gram was there. I'd have smoked that shit already. The reason I had gotten weed was because I was out of weed, but apparently had a gram somewhere they found. They got some crumbs up in a drawer somewhere, I guess.
Wow.
But yeah. So between the state charges being dropped and the federal charges being coming down on me, I asked my lawyer, I'm like, so I'm like a free man right now, huh? Because I'd been on this state probation for months and not able to do anything, not able to leave the state or do anything really. I could still drink alcohol, I think, almost positive because it was, but I couldn't do anything else. And he was like, yeah. I mean, you do whatever you want. And I'm like, well, what I want to do is fly to Denver tonight and get high as a motherfucker. And he's like, enjoy. I'm like, are you serious? Because I'm on the phone with Delta already. And so I flew to Seattle. I think I flew to. I didn't want it to be part of my federal case or whatever. They were like, and Your Honor, just so you know, he just returned from Denver for another smokecation, I believe he called it. So I flew into Albuquerque, New Mexico, and rented a car and drove to Denver.
Wow,
and smoked for a week. And then another month went by, and I flew up to Seattle and did the same thing. Stayed up there for about a week, 10 days, and smoked it out again. And then I had a couple more months until it was time to go on probation. So that was sometime in the summer. So it's been over 2 years now since I've smoked. It'll be 2 years, 4 months, 5 months or something like that by the time it's all said and done. So we got no tolerance. We're heading up there and getting real good and hydrated.
I'm sure we got some mutual friends up in Colorado too, because I know a couple people up there with a couple of farming situations and stuff. So I'm sure we have know some common people. But do you, physically speaking, physicality, do you feel a difference after not smoking for a while? Like, do you feel any healthier or less healthy, or does it affect you at all? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's not good for my mental health not to smoke. It's easier to get it's easier to get bummed out. It's easier to like get stressed out. Like I've got anxiety, and so like I kind of need marijuana in my life to keep an even keel. So like it's easy for me to get bummed out, a little depressed,
which is a very common thing. That's why you have medicinal stuff, right? So
sure.
Well,
I'm going to get a medical card. Like that's one of my first moves. I'm moving out of the state.
Shouldn't have to, man. Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm moving out of the state this fall. I'm going to go on my little smokecation with my boys. Stay out there for 2 weeks, maybe a whole month, if somebody wants to stay out there with me a little longer. And then I'm coming home and like packing my shit and like leaving the state for good.
Do you think that you've picked your state for sure? It's an immutable final decision, or you're still up in the air?
I know where I'm going.
Okay. You're going up north, I take it.
Yeah, going to Colorado. I'm going to move out to Colorado.
It's a little chilly out there. You can handle that?
I love it. I love the cold. Every time I've I'm from Georgia, so it's so hot and muggy down here in the summer. Like even right now, I don't know what this is like 90 degrees and humid as fuck outside. Like it's terrible. But every time I've gone somewhere where it's like blizzards and like the locals are like, can you believe this? It's disgusting. And I'm just like, I love it. Can we build a snowman? Does anybody want to build a snowman? And everybody's like, no, we don't build a fucking snowman, you fucking loser. Like I'm like a child because growing up, we got snow twice in my life. And both times it was just like barely, it was so little snow that we'd like end up with this snowman that was a little muddy because we'd scrape too low in the snow. So it's like a muddy snowman.
Yeah.
But like when we went to Killington, Vermont, or the times I've been out to Denver in the winter, or down to Telluride in Colorado, which is really sick, I always have a blast. So I'm looking forward to the cold.
See, we're like two sides of the same coin, because I don't hate the cold, but I love the heat. Like I'll be in LA and Florida. Oh, it's 110. It's too hot. That's why I don't mind wearing my gear when I play, because I love the heat. Like I can't get enough of it. And because I'm Canadian and there's so much time for cold, it's like you really appreciate it that much more to be able to go out in a swimming pool outside in January, right? So that's why I don't complain about the heat that much. So, or maybe it's just a Jamaican in me, but
you guys are lucky. You both like things that are easy to come by. I like the sun, but not the heat. Manage that.
Yeah. I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
That's a little tricky.
Well, like anyone who lives on the East Coast knows, about 8 weeks a year, 10 weeks a year, you get that, on the way into summer and on the way out. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Iceland. I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
Is it cold?
How's the internet there?
Hot chicks, but too cold, brother. But it's
I don't know. But yeah, I'm super psyched for it. It's been like, and I've told this before, but I'll just never forget like getting home from jail, not prison, but jail, and like taking a piss in my own bathroom and getting out of the shower and being like, someday this is all going to be over and I'll be able to smoke weed again. So we just got to like hold tight, just hold it together.
Keep up alive.
A year, 2 years, maybe 3, we'll be out.
You'd have to be like 36 at the time. I don't know what it is. 30.
Yeah, I'll be 35. I'm 35 now. So yeah,
I'm still be 35.
Yeah, because so like at the time, one of the investigators that I was friends with, I asked him, I was like, "Hey man, how long is this shit gonna take to get sorted?" He's like, "Oh man, Kyle, the way the wheels of justice turn slow. I saw a case. It took 3 years just to get in front of a judge," and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm trying to get this shit over with.
Yeah.
And it did end up dragging out forever, right? Because it took like another year just to get sentenced. And then they give me that time, and then that 2-year clock starts only when I get out of prison. So
what was the date it started? The date that you were at the post office? You don't know?
No fucking clue.
Have you ever been to Canada?
I bet it's on Google.
No, and I don't think I'll ever be able to, because they won't even they won't let you go up there with a DUI. So they're definitely not letting my felonious ass up in there.
You don't need Canada once you've got Colorado.
Well, I would like to go.
No, Toronto's a whole different world, brother. But
what if I sneak in? What's the worst that could happen?
And kick you out.
I've been kicked out of places before. I've been kicked out of worse places than Canada. I'll tell you that right now.
Ask you to leave, No?
Yeah,
all right. Well,
I ask you very nicely, though.
Then fucking stay then, I guess.
He said no.
Well, we were trying to run him down, but his car is way faster than our horses, and there was
the
the
most Canadian accent ever. Like, come
it's
on.
fucking horrible.
Like, you don't hear me talking like that. Jesus.
I looked it up. It all started August of 2017.
Memory lane.
It feels like so long ago.
Memory lane. Yeah, that was a
That's
that
a
is a
slow burn.
What was the year?
grueling
2017. Let me double
Fuck
check.
me.
Yeah, I'm right. August 2017.
4
Almost-
fucking years. In
Yeah.
4 years, I'll have only smoked weed like a handful of times. Oh, it's so awful. Oh,
That's crazy.
you gotta keep
And
in
this will
mind,
be the first
I
time that you
really
smoked.
like weed. Like this
Nothing
would be
wrong
like if
with
they
that,
took paintball away from you, like something that you'd like to do like all the time. Like right now, you're probably thinking like, man, if there was like a pickup paintball game outside in the neighborhood, I would go. I mean, if, they were like, if you
I'd
heard somebody
smoke some
out,
kids.
if you heard somebody outside go, "Yo, Wolf, bring it," and you look and they've all got their masks on and they got their fucking tippets, you'd be like, "You little motherfucker." That's how I am about weed. Like I could just smell somewhere and I'm like, oh, I bet they like me to join in on that. I know I do. Oh, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be good.
That's crazy.
It'll probably be even better. Like,
Oh, it's gonna
mentally
be-
for you because like
Appreciate it
this will
more.
be the first time that you'll be smoking where you're also in like phenomenal physical shape.
Is it? Is it
No,
49
50.
days now? I'm on
50
federal
days.
probation, Doug. That's what we're talking about.
Doug, are you unaware?
No, I'm not aware of this. What you're on federal probation for? What happened?
Well, he
Marijuana.
started a fake cryptocurrency.
That's not true.
I wish it had been something that made sense. Possession of marijuana. I got 2 months of federal prison and 2 years federal probation for possession of half an ounce of marijuana. 50 days, 4 hours, 25 minutes, 23 seconds until I'm a free man.
Hell yeah. That's
Wow, dude, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. I just moved from a state where it was just legal, so it's weird that people are going to. Wait, you went to federal prison?
Yeah, federal prison.
What happened?
I beat the state charges, so they just pushed it up to the federal level. Because of the way the search warrant was written, the state charges weren't going to stick. But because I own firearms, they could make it a federal case, and the search warrant didn't need to be applied. They just automatically had the right technically to search my house. So they like changed. They were like, oh, we searched his house because of this thing, not because of that thing we said before. And so then like finding my bong or whatever they found at my house, and like I think it was a gram of weed at my house. That stuck. So like,
Dude,
I had 14 grams of it was concentrate, but that doesn't matter on a federal level. Marijuana is marijuana on a federal level. So
That's it's horrible. And I mean, the drug war is one of the dumbest wars that America's ever fought. It's so stupid. It's a victimless crime. Weed doesn't even have bad health consequences.
Oh, silly. We're about to win.
any day now.
Kyle, on a federal level, explain. I'm curious about this. What if I had, I don't know how much a freshly made brownie weighs. Would it weigh like 2.5 pounds, maybe? Would
like
that
a
be
whole
two
tray
and
of brownies. Let's say, it's like,
So I
You
would
got
have
2.5
2.5 pounds of pot.
you're goddamn right. And not just federal, state as well. That's why you do not want edibles in like in an illegal state. I say where they're not legal, because they
They're
weigh,
heavy.
and sometimes they'll weigh the container. Like one of the like I'm not saying they do that with
around here.
Yeah,
That
right.
is such cheatery.
I'm not saying they do that with edibles, but I've seen it happen where like the guy would have like this infinitesimal amount of crack cocaine, for example, and it's like, and I don't remember the exact details, but it's like 1 gram of crack is like a felony. Let's just say that's the number. But like less than a gram, it's still a misdemeanor, I guess. You would think any amount of crack, but anyway, maybe it was meth, maybe it was coke, but whatever. But when they weigh the baggie with the twist tie, it like gets just over that level, and he's like, "You're weighing the bag. You're weighing the bag. Come on, I can't
cheating.
smoke the bag." And they're like, "Doesn't matter. We're weighing the bag. We're weighing the bag. You're going to prison." Yeah, it's there's a lot of nonsense that goes on, but yeah, I got to go to federal prison, so that's the bonus in all of this. So I got lots of fun stories out of that. Made some new friends that I'm not technically allowed to speak to because I'm a felon, but it was a good time.
I know we probably don't even have a way to contact him, but
I do.
post probation, would you be able to get Snow on the show? Like, is that a thing that's possible, or don't mess with it?
I think so. Maybe I'll try. I have my notepad that I was like writing stuff, my notepad from prison. And in that I had the names of all my like buddies in there and like their contact information. This one guy had a daughter who ran a podcast to like get to like fight the war on drugs, but I looked it up. She had like 100 viewers or some shit. And he was like, you should go on her show. And I'm like, I sure will, giant black man. I sure will.
First thing I do when I get out.
First thing I do. Like, I'm not even going to shower. I'm going to call your daughter. Oh, I can't pronounce this. Oh, nice. Oh, my. But yeah, I've got Snow's real name. Snow was a large Mexican man who protected my asshole in prison for me in exchange for just like working out with him every day. And he ran with a Mexican street gang, and he was in for trafficking several pounds of methamphetamine. And they say that when you go to a prison camp, you're not in there with any violent offenders. What they mean is you're not in there with anyone who was convicted of a violent offense. So Snow's confessing murders to me out on the yard, like another guy. Like,
ouch, putting Snow on blast here. Let's
nobody knows Snow's real name but me. Okay, and I can barely pronounce it. I can barely pronounce it. It's written down in the other room though. Yeah, I was just like, we're out there walking, and Snow would drop hard in bombs on the yard, and I'm just like, does he think that I like have his back out here? Like, he should know I don't.
That's how you get your ass beat defending N-word use of a Hispanic man.
Yeah, like I
it's not as bad as if I was saying it. I don't think, you know.
We would be within earshot of African Americans, and this man's dropping hard R's, and I'm back there like, I hope when they finally turn around and start stabbing, they know they heard that Cholo accent and they know that it wasn't my white ass. Like,
you can do a Cholo accent.
I would have been guilty by association. I didn't do the accent in prison.
That seems like a good hill to die on. You know, you look back on your life like this is the spot.
Me and Snow, we're going down.
Why shouldn't Snow be able to say it? You're right.
No, Snow tosses
I thought this was America. I thought this was America.
I mean, that situation would come down to whoever the bigger person was. If Snow was more jacked, you'd have his back.
Snow was fucking
If the other
jacked.
guy was more jacked and he had more people behind him, you got to be like, Snow, very uncool, man. You should
Kyle,
keep more
who
PC.
wins? Current Kyle or Snow arm wrestling?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Who wins, current Kyle or Snow knife fight?
Snow has been in more knife fights than me. So I would say
how many have you been in?
0. And Snow had stab wounds, and he was always talking about, I was up in the medium, and this guy wanted to have a knife fight. Pulled that, he tried to chank me. He said instead of shank, he says chank. Tried to chank me, and I was like, throw him up, bro, throw him up. I want to box that N-word, and and I'm sitting there like yeah, I know how that is when an N-word wants to chank you. Yes.
Meanwhile, you're holding Harry Potter in the
I'm literally reading Harry Potter. I'm literally just trying to sit in my bunk and read my fucking books and like watch 60 days go past as fast as they possibly can. And this fucking Cholo from Mexico who's in for fucking trafficking ice is talking about whacking like a different Mexican street gang, which I won't mention, but just all sorts of nonsense. Talking about AK-47s and shit and cars and drive-by shootings. Just
and this is because you had how much weed?
14 grams.
So this seems like an appropriate response to that. Let's get you in there with Snow. Two criminals. We both know that at the federal level. I mean, these guys are pretty much the same guy.
A few of the guards recognize me and they're like, "Hey, Kyle, you're the Kyle from the internet, right?" I'm like, yeah. What are you doing? And I'm like, I don't fucking know, man, but you got to stop being so friendly with me. Could you like pat me down or something?
Hit me. Please hit me.
Please hit me with a baton. Please hit me with a baton.
I also love just claiming that, are you Kyle from the internet? Yeah. I'm Kyle. If there's an internet Kyle, it's me. I'm just kind of number one, you know.
You may know me from online.
Exactly. I'm the one with like 1 billion views that was in the Super Bowl commercial. That's me. So it's like
and your modest too.
Yeah, I mean, like 3 prison guards are like recognize me. I was so happy that none of the prisoners recognized me because maybe they thought maybe they'd be like, oh, maybe you can put some money in my commissary. I'm looking to get some Cheetos this month, and I'm all out. nobody was trying to run any scams on me at least or anything. So I don't know. It was
I
it
feel
was an
like you
interesting
would have
time.
been able to like make some nice inroads just talking about guns with anyone who was really into it, because you're so knowledgeable on that topic. They could be like, oh, I shoot a fucking whatever the hell, and you'd be like, really? Well, when you're trying to kill a N-word in your parlance, you should
in your parlance.
Guys,
Yeah, parlance will
what
go over their
kind
head.
of show did I get invited on to today?
Oh, we are so politically correct. Don't worry. We call
What
him
the-
Arnold Schwarzenegger African American.
that is so inappropriate. For man, that's ballsy for Snow to be saying the N-word.
It's getting pretty dicey out here. Getting dicey out here in the PK streets.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Yeah, it was a rough time, but like I said, 50 days left or whatever I said, and
Yep.
I'm immediately like leaving the state of Georgia and getting out.
Nice.
I've got a big vacation planned going to Colorado, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome,
Really, because I love marijuana. It's a big part of my happy zone. It's I really enjoy it.
It's so interesting how different people have different effects with it. I wish I liked marijuana because it would be so much healthier than alcohol. And alcohol is my drug of choice for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I smoke weed, I just get such bad anxiety. And there's always some guy that says, bro, you just need to try this strain, bro. You hit the sativas, bro. You need to hit some indica. That's where No, I've tried all the strains. I'm good. It just doesn't work for me. I get so stressed out and anxious, and I start to think weird shit. If I'm in a group setting and people start laughing, I look at them and I'm zoned in. Yeah, that fucker is laughing at me, isn't he? Yeah, he is.
Everyone's looking at me.
He thinks he doesn't realize it, but I know.
I hate every drug. I never have a good time on these drugs. I don't like alcohol. I don't like pot. I don't like whatever opiate they prescribe you after surgery that you're supposed to take for 3 days and stay ahead of the pain. I hate that whole process and get off as soon as I can. And everyone tells me that I take drugs incorrectly, but it's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I like all the fucking drugs. I've never had done a drug that I didn't enjoy. I love getting dental work. Sometimes I don't even need it. I'm like, yeah, pull that one. But, if they'll hook me up with some Tylenol 3.
I take it wrong. Fentanyl's fantastic.
Fentanyl is amazing. That time they gave me like a morphine when I had that burn. They had to scrub the skin off my hand. That was the most fun I've ever had. Yeah. She was just like, let me know when you feel anything. And she like hit me with whatever, 5 cc's or whatever. And I felt it. It was just like, oh, this feels amazing. And I was like, I don't feel anything. And she's like,
the move.
Yeah. And she's like, really? You must have a higher tolerance. And she like loads the syringe up more. Gives me 10 cc's or whatever, and I just went, woo. I gave her like a little Ric Flair, and then like just completely lost memory of the next like 30 minutes of someone scrubbing the flesh off the back of my fucking hand, which is probably a good thing. I just remember the sensation of like this, but like no pain and barely any memory. It was awesome.
I left off nitrous oxide. That I think they don't do that at the dentist anymore. When I was a kid, you could either get what do they inject into your gum?
Novocaine, I think.
Novocaine or nitrous oxide, the gas. And you always ask for gas because the needle hurts so much. And I'm a little kid. And they'll be like, tell me when you start to feel it. And the whole objective to nitrous oxide is to pretend you don't feel it so you get more. And they'll ask you, questions to see if you're alert enough to keep giving you gas. And you really don't want to answer them, but they're going to take this nitrous oxide away from you if you can't trick them into thinking you're not super high. So that's the game you play.
I love how that is you're like booze. Fuck that. All these drugs. No, I do engage in drug seeking behavior at the dentist.
Yeah, I do.
Which tooth is hurting? Take your pick, man.
You can get nitrous oxide.
All of them.
I
can get
did it
nitrous
once
oxide
at
on
a
Amazon.
concert.